One Bills Live, thanks for joining us. Pleased to be joined in studio now, fresh off the practice field. Bills running back Ty Johnson joining us. And Ty, I'm going to start here. I'm just going to stick up for the backs here a little bit. Team's got 28 touchdowns on the year. Running backs room's got 13 of them. I mean, guys walking around, a little taller, and chest out a little bit. Like, you know what? We're holding it down in our end over here. Like, you guys are off to a great start, helping the team put points on the board, man.
It's just doing your job, you know what I'm saying, every single day. Show up, contribute any way possible, and the ball finds us, you know what I'm saying. Ray, he's doing a great job. Jimbo is cooking, you know what I'm saying. I get in there, do a little something.
Yeah.
So just, staying locked in, and the ball's finding us, and we're making plays.
Yeah, and that offense seems to be, it seems to getting better and better and better. Obviously the Keon has stepped forward. He's started to get more and more opportunities. Khalil has been like steady as a rock. I mean, he throws the ball in his area code and he comes down with it. He's good after the catch. Tell me about your running backs. How do you approach the game? You know you're going to rotate in. You kind of sometimes you don't know how much you're going to play because of the way the game falls. How do you guys handle that between the three of you and James and Ray? About your rotation's probably pretty set, but you have conversations between series and all that about. And give us an insight as to what those are like.
Really, it's just like you said. You really don't know when your opportunity is going to come. So it all comes down to preparation every single day, and everyone being on the same page, knowing what to do when they're in there. So it's never just like, just this play or that play. It could be anybody's play. Right. And really, at the end of the day, preparation and execute, that's all there is to it, and just being locked in every single day.
Mm-hmm. Being the vet in there, is it a little strange to have like Ray in there? I mean, how many questions does Ray ask you? Is he like the typical 4-year-old toddler that asks like 300 questions a day? I mean, he wants to learn, obviously, and soak it all up. How is he in terms of his questioning? Like, I'm sure there were plenty in the summer during camp.
Enough.
Have they tapered off a little bit, or?
No, I mean, his football IQ's through the roof. He's a great guy. He's always pen and paper, writing down everything. And, during walkthrough, pre-practice, everything, even before games, we're talking about schemes and, hey, like protections or whatever, because, like you say, we never know who's going to be in there. So making sure we're on the same page. And, yeah, he's just always asking certain questions, reassuring himself, making sure he knows what to do and what we're trying to do as a team. And I applaud him, honestly. And the eye in the sky doesn't lie. Like, he's doing his thing, and who wouldn't want a Ray Davis on his team, you know what I'm saying? So especially how he's running, just everything. And, he's doing really well with his hands out the backfield too. So I'm super excited for him. I'm excited to have him on the team, and he's going to just keep growing and developing.
Well, this team, kind of soars through this first half, 6-2 after 8 games. Big lead in the division. You got big things on the horizon. What are the conversations like in the locker room with the guys having to, keep it going, getting better? What is it? Are you keeping it going? Are you getting better? What are your short-term goals, week to week, day to day?
I think really at the end of the day, our conversations is be us and focus on us. Like, don't let the media, don't let the internet, anything get in our heads. Just focus on us, and just because we win, there's always things we can correct and keep getting better at. So I think that's really the best thing with this team in our conversations is, hey, like, we may have won this past game, but we had some pre-snap penalties, or we need to block on this a little bit better. So it's just focusing on us and not really worrying about we got to keep it going. It's just, if we do our job, the plays are going to come, the points are going to come, the wins are going to come. Right. So
I wanted to ask you about this since, you're in the meeting rooms, you get the feedback from the coaches and everything. I mean, through 8 games, you guys are good at a lot of things, but you guys might be the best fourth down team in football on both sides of the ball. I mean, you've converted all 8 of your fourth downs on offense, and the defense has 12 turnovers on downs in 8 games. I mean, that's a huge number. What are the coaching points? I mean, it's a money down. It's kind of like an attitude. You got to get it. Like, it's get the first down, or the other team's got the ball. So, like, I'm just kind of curious. What's the team mindset, at least on offense, when it's fourth down and it's literally do or die to extend the drive?
It's a got-to-have-it situation at the end of the day. And, you don't want to give the opposing team a short field or anything on a fourth down or anything like that. So it's really that attitude, that mindset, like, down and dirty, get that extra yard, even if it's an inch, 2 yards, whatever. Like, we got to get it, and we've done a great job doing it, and just keep moving.
And what about when the defense does get that turnover on downs? I know that the Seahawks kind of helped you guys a little bit last week. Geno trips on one. They have a snap over his head on another. But does that kind of put a charge into you guys? Because now you're going on the field, and now it's your turn. Like, because they got to stop.
Yeah, it's momentum, and some people don't believe in it, but it's a real thing, momentum, and you love to see when the defense goes out there and has, just a blade of grass, they're going to defend it. Like, that's what you love to see from a defense. And when they do that, they're hyped. They're going to get us on the field. They get the ball back to us, and we just go do our job. And it's just complimentary football at the end of the day.
Let me ask you something about off the field. What was your perception, and how is the reality of being a Buffalo Bill in this town and on this team? How did it meet with your expectations when you were, earlier in your career, you weren't around? You know what I mean? How is it?
Well, he's in the division, but yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I was with, Detroit and the Jets, I hated Buffalo because I knew what I was getting myself into playing here, especially being with the Jets coming here, late December, early January, coming here to play. I was just like, man, I know what I'm getting into. The fans, everything. I'm just like, man, we got to go to Buffalo. I don't like this. But then when I got here last year, I was just like, when you're in it, you're like, I get it now. And so that's kind of been the best thing, just from the fan base and the culture around here. It's a winning culture, you know what I'm saying? And it just keeps moving forward. And you got so many great guys on the team that make the team who they are, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just football at the end of the day. It's the people in the building that make the team too. So it's just been beyond my expectations when I got here, truly.
I know backs are always quick to give these guys credit, but they still don't get a ton of pub. Your O-line through the first 8 games, they're up near the top of the league in terms of protecting Josh, sacks per play allowed. And then I don't have to tell you what they're doing to kind of open up holes for you guys in the run game. What can you say about the way they kind of pulled that together? Because there was some change up there. Mitch is in Jacksonville now. Connor had to kind of move to the pivot. David comes into the lineup after being your 6th O lineman all of last year. How did you kind of see that materializing through the course of training camp in the early stages of the season? And does it feel like a well-oiled machine, those 5 up front now?
No, absolutely. And it was just great to see from OTAs to training camp to now, just the guys just really accepting that job with open arms and learning positions and just really trying to do everything they can to contribute to the team, because that's what it is. It's a team sport, and those guys have done a great job, and I really applaud them at the end of the day because they're in the trenches. Not a lot of people can get in there and do that. So
Now Dion had an interesting comment in the locker room last week after the game. He was talking about, everybody was asking about James' big day last week, goes over 100 yards, and Dion was talking about how David Edwards and some of the other linemen in the huddle sometimes, based on how the game is unfolding and how they're executing blocks, can kind of tell you guys in the huddle, hey, this one's probably open in here in the B gap, or look for the B gap, it's probably going to be open. Do they kind of give you guys tips and cues on occasion, like, hey, keep an eye out because I think the B gap's going to open up here for you?
No, absolutely. And Coach Chrome does a great job. Early meetings in the morning, we sit in there with the linemen so we're all on the same page at the end of the day. So whether we have an over front, even front, whatever it may be, and how the linebackers may play, we're just like, hey, they're going to do this. It's going to be in the B gap, or he's going to shoot this gap, so it's going to go backside. So the O-line and Coach Chrome, again, I applaud them. They've been doing a great job and just essentially just saying, hey, go here, it's going to be there, and it happens. So
that's cool.
It's really been a great.
That's awesome insight. Time now for this week's Timbits Timeout, presented by, of course, Tim Hortons, where we solicit the fans to ask Bills players a unique question. So this week's question comes from Tim. It's not Tim Horton, but it comes from Tim, who says, do you have any pregame superstitions? Anything like specific clothing, accessories, playlists, routines that must be done before a game?
No, absolutely. So my one superstition I have to do every single game is my breakfast, and it's half a waffle, 3 slices of bacon, 2 sausage links, and then I get a coffee from Tim Hortons. So that's really if I don't get that, I don't feel right. And then I always have to have my little EDM music as well pregame. So it's really, if I don't have that, I don't know how it's going to be.
I'm guessing it's in a specific order too, and it's always the same number of eggs, bacon, and sausage links. That's always the same number.
Yeah, so half a waffle, 3 pieces of bacon, the 2 sausage links, and then the coffee from either Tim Hortons or Starbucks, no matter what.
Yeah, you really do cut it fine. All right.
That's it. And that's my breakfast even now. Every single morning, that's what I do. So
Ty, appreciate the time.
Thanks, Ty. It's great seeing you, man.
It's good to have you in here. Player interview appearances on One Bills Live are presented by Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, the official coffee of the Buffalo Bills.